Hi, my name is Philip, and this video is about the inevitable downfall of MrBeast and how he will fail. But to preface that, I love MrBeast and I love all of his content. He's a great creator and he has really made some really interesting videos. He's getting tons of views and likes, and he's also a very smart YouTuber who diversifies in different categories: gaming, popularity, reaction, and different countries. He has reaction videos in both Spanish and English. Who am I to say that he will fail? But that's not what the video is about. So this video is about the inevitable downfall of MrBeast and the doom. And that won't be because he'll end up in some scandal or he'll get bored of making videos and he will just quit. I think it's for one simple reason. That's of course not simple at all, but I'm gonna try to explain it. It all stems from his business idea. He wants to reinvest all of his money into his channel, and he wants to outdo himself every time. Always get better, always get better. And what's great with this idea is that he's become a big, exploded, he's become the biggest YouTuber of all time. But there's also a lot of problems that come with this, and I'll explain in 3 different points. 1, he always needs to outdo himself. Number 2, reinvesting all of his money. Number 3, how does other companies work that has the same business model? Let's start with the first one. He always wants to outdo himself. Every video needs to be better than the last. And he always wants to reinvent himself and make something new that explodes, and he wants to go viral every time. And that's what has made him a ginormous YouTuber, for sure. He wants to always make the best content on YouTube, which some can say that he definitely does. And this makes the audience always wait and always so excited to watch the new video because it will always be better and more money and showy and flashy. But the problem is there will come a time, and I'm sure of this, then where MrBeast is out of ideas, or at least doesn't have as many ideas. And when money doesn't cut it and he can't make something fresh and interesting, that will be a problem for his channel. Just look at multiple different channels, that big YouTubers that they haven't done anything wrong, they haven't even changed how they work, they have just fallen off. And that's because the audience get bored. We have a constant flow of entertainment that we have at an arm's length, in our phones, in our computers. And that's the problem with MrBeast's idea. He always wants to make something impressive and big. But what happens when he doesn't? When the audience isn't shocked? When the next big thing isn't big? Will the audience still be there if they're not there for the shock value or the enormous money? I don't think that anyone will be like more impressed of $100 million to a $200 million. Like, it doesn't really keep the flow going. I also think that even though he really loves making videos and that this is his obsession, it's also a problem because he says so himself. He works so hard and he makes so many things until he burns out. And that's really problematic because burning out, yeah, maybe he just burns out for 1 or 2 days and then he's back to work. But what happens when he burns out for half a year, 2 months, a year? What happens with this channel then? And don't take my word for it. He says it himself. Show the clip.
Do you ever take days off?
So the way I like to work, and I don't recommend you guys try this, so I found giving into my natural instinct works best. So I just work every day, every hour of the day until I just burn out. So like I'll work all day Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I'll keep going. And then usually around day 10, I'll wake up and I'm just like burnt. I'm like, I can't keep going. It's too much. Like I can't keep doing these 12, 15 hour days. And then I'll take like half a day or maybe a day depending on how severe it is, and I'll just chill.
And he really has this crazy business idea to push himself more and more and more for the next big thing, and the body just won't happen. It just won't do that. It can't just be better and better and better. There will come a time when that doesn't happen. It will come a time when the views goes down and not up. It's just inevitable. It's just an unrealistic goal to have that you will always be bigger. Like there's not a finite amount of people. There will be a time when the subscribers will just be stable and not explode upwards. And the problem is that he's expected this now. he thinks that if he continues, the audience will keep exploding. So what happens when that doesn't happen? He will be disappointed for sure, but will he just invest more money, or will he just try to outdo himself even more and work harder? And that will be the problem. It will be an evil circle of working harder, getting less views, and just burning out, in my opinion. And if he does this, he will just invest more money, and it will be a problem because the videos will just be more expensive and less views, and that's when the point happens where he spends more money than he gets in. And that leads me to point number 2.
For the last like 8 or 9 years, like every dollar I've made, I just spent it the next month on content. And I just did that every single month, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger, and here we are.
He reinvests all of his money. Maybe not all of it. Of course, he has a house, a nice car, but a lot of the money that he makes from YouTube is reinvested into the business. And this has for sure made him a ginormous YouTuber, and that's his whole business model that has made him grow so fast. But the problem comes when point number 1 comes true. If he just doesn't get that multiple of views and that enormous cash flow, he just pushes more money into it and the views doesn't come, what will happen? Yeah, he will be left with an enormous outgoing of money, all the money invested, but the cash flow coming in will be too low. And because he reinvests all of his money, he's living on that edge that will be like, he always goes up, up, up. But what happens if one video doesn't blow up and then 2 videos doesn't blow up? He will have so much money invested and not money coming in. And that will be a problem. I'm really scared for the day when the money coming in is less than the money that he spends. What will happen then? And while this business decision has truly made him the ginormous YouTuber that he is, it's not something new. A lot of big companies has used this tactic to grow really fast. Not make money first, but grow fast. So Amazon, Netflix, Spotify are companies that have just exploded really fast, but they don't make money. They're not profitable. Some of them are, of course, but the idea is there. And this leads me to number 3. Other companies with the same business model. It's growth first and making money second. So if you invest all the money into always being better and better and better, you will get an enormous audience because you just reinvest all that money and you can climb, climb, climb. But the problem here is that there isn't an infinite amount of viewership and there isn't an infinite amount of money. So if the audience is used to this progression at all times, what happens when he wants to go stable? There will be less views. He can't take 7 billion people and watch his videos. They don't even have internet. So at some point, I don't know when, but the views will stop exploding. And let's take an example what happens when you try to go from being a growth company to a profitable, stable company. I'm going to take 2 examples, Spotify and Netflix. So Spotify has this great business idea of taking that streaming piracy that was before and combining that with the labels and the big companies that were missing money and making it easy for the customer and making money for the labels. And this streaming idea became huge because it was easy for the customer and it was easy for the labels to make money. And that led to them exploding. And their business model has always been that you have a freemium or a premium, so you can choose which way, which make it easier to have a lot of customers come to you. But it also means that you pay these companies, these labels, enormous amounts of money. And you're really dependent on all these customers coming and paying you. And Spotify just hasn't been doing that. They haven't been profitable. Hi, sorry for the quick wardrobe change. The footage was corrupted and I have to redo this part. So, come with me here for a second. So, I think that this is one of the big problems with these companies that are growing so much that they come to a point where what they have built the company on isn't profitable, and then they have to pivot and they have to change what makes the company the company. So in the Spotify's case, they have built this great business model where they have the freemium and the premium and getting a lot of people in. But it's not a profitable way to run the business, so they have to pivot. How do they do that? I don't know. Is it like Netflix does? Netflix now have a lot of customers, they're a big company, and now they suddenly want to change their ad-free Netflix and how many accounts you can have connected to one subscription. So now they want to change that so they get more subscriptions and maybe turn a bigger profit. Is that the right way? Because now they might lose customers and get less subscriptions because of the new way they handle the business. So I'm really afraid that one day will come for MrBeast when everything just doesn't add up. The popularity will fall. He won't be as big and less money will come in. But he keeps spending a lot of money and he will be obsessive about getting more and more views. He says it so himself. He's obsessive. So how will he handle this going from a growth factor to a stable factor? I think that because he's so obsessive, because he's so invested, these factors, reinvesting all the money, the audience will fall off. And other companies are having trouble with this as well. It's not something new, going from a growth company to a stable, profitable company. He lives and breathes YouTube. So I think that this might become a pretty brutal fall. I really hope that it never does happen. But if it does, I hope that he has a good support system and that he handles it the best way he can. Thank you for watching this video. Bye-bye.